Hey y'all, this is something I've always wanted to talk about, and I've noticed even more now. People that dissolve themselves into a whole nother person, such as couples. That's the main thing I'm talking about in relationships, things I've looked at. I've been in a relationship, yes. But it is really interesting how some people, a good majority of these couples, which is interesting, have a problem with containing and remaining self-identifying, if that makes sense, like having their own individuality outside of their partner. So let's get into it. I'm Nia. This is Nia Talk Nia, and we're gonna have the conversation. hmm this was something I was thinking about when I saw I think it was on Lemonade. It was like a cute little post, just a girl that was showing her marriage proposal and stuff like that. And I was looking through her stuff and I was like, this is so cute. Like, she's adorable, beautiful black woman. I was just like, oh my gosh. And then like I was looking, I saw the man that she was with. I was like, oh, so cute. And then it was like, as I'm going through it, I'm like, girl, dang, you ain't got nothing else besides just showing that you in a relationship, in the progression of this person popped up and then all of a sudden you're married. Like, we don't see nothing in between, even though we shouldn't. It's more like, does it even matter to have them on the page? But interesting conversation. I really feel like that's a problem most people have, and a problem I don't have, and that's probably why it's a lot harder for me to date, or it might be harder for you to date, because you're so individualistic, if that makes sense. But that's a good thing, right? Like, weed out all the people that suck. Weed out all the people that suck. Like, you being an individual and having individualistic characteristics, being yourself, not relying on someone else to be who you are, is a great thing. Don't listen to other people. What we see, like I said, is always fake. But I just thought it was interesting because I'm always rooting for love. I don't care. I'm always rooting for love. A lot of people think, oh, she hates couples. No, I just hate how people make their relationship their identity. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, literally, like, and I'm not even religious, but hello, where are you? Like, all I see all over you is relationship. And I'll tell you a number one red flag just to a woman, like a woman, that is a red flag. I've met them. I change careers. I'm always moving different places and doing things. I meet a lot of people and I talk. And a red flag to me is when we're having a conversation and it's only been about 2 to 3 minutes conversating with you, and the first thing I hear, my boyfriend, my boyfriend, oh, my boyfriend, my boyfriend. Like, girl, you lost me. Like, that's when you know this person is weak sauce. Like, I should not know, and this is me and gonna be me for the rest of my life. You will not know I'm in a relationship until maybe the 5th meeting. Maybe. If you get to that point of meeting me as a friend or whatever we're doing. You will not know. That's none of your business. It's really not. And of course, love your relationship, love what you're in, embrace it. But there comes to a certain extent where people really use their relationship as their personality. I'm like, all right, do you have nothing else to talk about? Are you nothing else? Are you nothing else? Like, this is all you are? And it's like really boring. I find people like that really boring. And I think this is definitely something that starts out in your early teen years. And I think it definitely has to do with either not fitting in, not feeling enough, not feeling cool, usually. Like, I feel like when females, I'm talking about females right now, all females in general, when females don't feel cool or like they fit in and they're hetero, let's say for the most part, which is a majority of people out here, right? They go get a boyfriend. They go get a boyfriend. They latch on to them. They make them their everything. Even if they like don't even see each other a lot, they make their boyfriend their everything. They get rid of their friends. And let's jump into that conversation actually. Getting rid of your friends because you are now in a relationship is the dumbest thing you can do. It really is. I've experienced it many a times, not me doing it, but people doing that to me, and it baffled me. I would, we would bond and everything, be really close, friends for a good hot minute, boy or girl, doesn't matter, but mainly men. Let me say men. No intimacy, no nothing, just straight friend zone, just chill, cool friends. Like, that's it. All of a sudden, they get a girlfriend. Chop, chop, you're gone. Like, it's weird. It's so weird. It's like somebody that you really made a close connection with, y'all besties, y'all buddies, y'all ride or dies, all of a sudden some chick walks in and is like accepting of their mess, right? Most likely it's somebody that accepts their mess. They drop all their friends. And it's not even that the chick is saying to drop your friends. It's more about that person is trying to devote all their time in the world to their partner. You're bugging. Get a life. Get a life. This is what I have to say to y'all. Get a life. I will give dating advice, but I'm going to be honest. I don't care if you're in a relationship. Have a life. You need to have something of your own. You cannot live through the other person. You can love them. Obviously, I love that. I always talk about being, man should be obsessed with you. That person should be obsessed with you. It's your world. They living in it. Period. But if they don't have any substance of their own and nothing that they are proud of or can even let you know that they're proud of it, then that's not a good relationship at all. If they think that you're not going to care about anything they're talking about that's personal to them, not a good relationship at all. And I had to realize a lot of people in relationships are doing that. They're basically dismissing themselves. They're dismissing their partner. They are not having conversations with them. They are not interacting with them in certain ways just to put up a facade that they are a couple that you want to aspire to be, which is weird. Like, they can't just be themselves. Like, you know those couples you come across. Okay, A$AP Rocky and Rihanna. Let's talk about it. That's an example of a couple you come across and they just doing their own thing. You can't tell them nothing. You can't tell them nothing. They doing their own thing. They're doing their own thing. They don't care if you like or dislike what they do. They doing their own thing. They're doing things separate of each other. Now, when it comes to other couples, and yes, y'all could throw in she's a billionaire, whatever, but at the end of the day, if she didn't have the money she had, I still swear to you, A$AP would be acting the same exact way. Straight obsessed. But anyways, let me get into it. With other females, and I've noticed this with Real Housewives of just everything. A lot of Real Housewives are like this. They don't have a life. They live through their partner, essentially. The man with the money, right? A lot of housewives end up being really mean and nasty because they don't have anything. They can't. Their husband is the breadwinner. Their husband is the everything. Their husband is the, even if they're a bad person, they are absolutely nothing, but they signed up for it. I always talk about Aisha Howard and all these other basketball girlies that, you know, they're old as F. They get these balloons for breast and they put balloons in their butt and then they go out there and they go find a young person. It's very disgusting. They go out there and find somebody that's 20, 19 years old. Let them lose themselves, lose control, baby. And that's how they make their money. But the reason why these women become nasty and spiteful and mean to people is because even with all the money in the world, I've tried to tell y'all this several times. So if you're new to the channel, hello. If you've been here, you already know my saying. With all the money in the world, people can be and will be miserable as F. I'm trying not to curse. They will be miserable if they have nothing to stand for and that money is not even theirs. Like, think about it. Like, that money is coming from a dude. That money is coming from whoever impregnated them. That money is, you know, that money is what they had to do some terrible things to get that money. I'm pretty sure. Some awful things that ain't cute, don't smell right. Things they've had to do some awful things. Y'all think it's just easy and you fill yourself up with this and that, sit courtside and then here they are. No, them men they want some disgusting things. Okay, let me tell you that. Nope, you're not gonna get me. So it's like women do this, have the baby, get the money, get the car, get the clothes, get the business, da-da-da. You get all this stuff, and you still don't feel satisfied. Those women will never be satisfied because they didn't do it on their own. Rihanna could sit there and say, I did this on my own. Nicki, Beyonce, they could sit there and say, I did this on my own. Even Meg, I did this on my own regardless of anybody. There's a difference in how that presents itself in a person, how that feels when it comes to a relationship or baby mama drama, whatever you want to call it. Either way, something was established for them to lay in bed, period. So it doesn't feel good. So then you have these women that become like Ashley Darby, like they become so nasty to people. And everybody, you know, I don't care if you don't like Candace or whatever, Everybody says dumb things. Just get over it. Candace has a man who loves her, who will correct her, but in the kindest way, wants the best for her. A man that loves her. Ashley was and is so jealous of that. And I saw that from day one. She's jealous that Candace found somebody to love and she don't have to be under no old nasty, like, you know what I mean? Ashley was so jealous and still is, in my opinion. Because she didn't have that. She had the intentions of robbing a man of their money. She had the intent. And here's the thing. You could come from a hard background, listen, I have. But if you keep your character well, good will come to you. Just be patient. Ashley did not keep her character well, and she said, I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. I'm going to be with this nasty man. I'm going to do nasty things, and I'm going to get all the money that I can. And then that fell on her head. We know how that happened. Well, I think she gets child support, no alimony, something like that. I don't know. Just make it make sense. It's ridiculous. So this is what I mean by when you make somebody else your entire personality. Ew. Like when Ashley went into Real Housewives of Potomac, what was she doing? Nothing. She started a restaurant with him when I'm sure that was his restaurant. She did absolutely nothing. She has no substance, and she still doesn't have any substance. She has nothing. She's just not a good person. I'm not going to critique her singing at all. I don't think it's awful. I don't think it's good. I am not a lyricist. I'm not a musician, so I don't think I have a spot to critique it. But what I will say is when you have such an ugly personality, that just drenches all over you, and I see you as ugly and disgusting. I don't care how good your voice is. I do. When you have no substance, no nothing, no uniqueness, no this, no, like just nothing, but your personality is nasty, I don't feel it for you. And that's a lot of women who go into relationships and make that person, the man, their everything. And yes, it's pick me behavior, of course. But I just want to focus on the fact that it is traumatic and sad when a woman decides to make her entire life a man. And you know what's the sad story? Usually they hit their 40s and they come to their senses that I messed up. And that's what I don't want. I want to make videos so that right now, I don't care if you're 18, 19, whatever, I hope that you're listening to me and understanding you don't need, sorry, there's like dust in the air in my room. You don't need a person to make yourself important. You don't. I genuinely just love talking to people. I would love somebody to talk to. I would love somebody to be romantic with. I just love things like that. Sure, we're human. I'm not trying to sit here and say be single for the rest of your life. Or if you want to, that's still cool too. There's no difference really. Like your love is your love. But just remember when you are approaching a situation into a relationship, I guess. Who are you in that relationship? Are you even a person to them? Are you? Or are you property? That's another thing as well. How does that man see you? Does he see you as a human being? And I think that's something that a lot of women forget. They do. Because they're in their mindset. They have all this pressure from society telling them, you need a man, you need a woman, you need a this, you need to be married. I just do what you want to do. Do what you want to do and learn what's best for you. I just find, because I'm going to wrap this up, I find it very hard for me to personally date because I am so individualistic. Like, I am so myself. I put myself first. And as you all should, don't let this discourage you. Put yourself first. Dating may seem a lot harder because you're doing so, but I'm telling you, when you meet someone who F's with you for putting yourself first, just chef's kiss. Like, it's magical. It's way better than being with someone who puts you last. And there's a lot of men, don't get me started, that are jealous of women. There's a lot of men that are jealous of women. So be very careful. But don't make no man your entire personality. I've been seeing that trash out here. It's very annoying. It's very irritating. I don't like to see it. This is my channel. I talk. You don't like what I have to say? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to say it. We still gonna talk about dating, whether I'm dating or not, whether I'm talking to people or not, it doesn't matter. I always will talk because I feel that women deserve to know BS when BS is being presented. Because we don't really take it too much. We're so surface level. Like, I'll be honest, like with the internet, it's so surface level. There is no digging deeper. People hide stuff all the time, and people put up with a lot of stuff. I think, because I was supposed to end this, one thing I want to say is I have gotten moments where I'm looking at a photo of a couple or something. I'm like, man, that must have been so easy. How'd she do that? But then I take a step back and I'm like, first of all, this is just a photo. And then two, I've seen couples in real life outside of this photo-ish, and it's not pretty. Like, it's not pretty. These couples that do photos and stuff like that and want to make it so like, oh, we the baddest couple, we this, we that. They ain't ish. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to curse, but they're nothing. Because when you see them in person and how they argue and fuss and fight and cuss, you'll be like, they took that photo a minute ago? They was just boxing, like, huh? You will be so confused. And that's the worst part, because I don't want that for no one. I don't want people to think they have to get online and show themselves with the person constantly. I ain't saying never post your boo. That's cute. But it's like when it's a constant like expectation for you and the viewer, right? You want a viewer to expect your man, whatever he is, they, she, whatever, just let's just say person. You want them to think y'all are perfect. We never get to see the nitty gritty of relationships. We never get to see the small arguments. And then when we do see them, they're so manufactured. They're just not real and not believable. It be that interracial content with a man be abusing a woman. It's weird, but it's so manufactured. It's just not real. And for me, honestly, if there's conflict between me and my partner, why am I getting my camera out? Unless I'm trying to be like, yo, he about to hit me. I'm like, gotta have evidence, put the camera there, let's box it out. Not saying I will, but I'm just saying, like, okay, I get that, but that's not it. Like, why is the first thought for you to get your camera out? That would make me so mad. That shows that your relationship means nothing. The views are what matter to you. And that's like sick in itself. So don't spend your time wasting your life doing all this stuff for views and stuff like that. It's not worth it. Wait, take your time, date, of course. Give yourself some options. Don't just lock down. A lot of people want you to lock down because they're fearful that something's going to happen to them and then life's going to be able... Look, if that's the way it happens, but you need to make sure you're living your life for yourself and not investing into somebody else besides yourself. If you have the room to do both, great, but always have the greater point. Like, yourself, your partner. Oh, well, that way. If it did it right on the screen. Make sure you are the greater chunk. Because yourself is all that you really got at the end of the day. I was supposed to wrap this up, but there's another point that I want to make. Y'all are gonna get so mad. Money. So when it comes to money, a lot of people, I made the video about people being elitist and dating and stuff like that. Really important to me, a conversation I have all the time. But when it comes to people saying, oh, once you get your life together, you're going to find somebody or somebody's going to find you, or make sure you have everything together. Honestly, F that, because at the end of the day, if somebody F's with you, they F with you. If somebody's here for you, they're here for you. If somebody wants to be with me, I'll give you an example, and they see that I'm up and this is happening and da-da-da, and they're like, wow, look at all the things that you're doing. Great, inspirational, but what if I was doing absolutely nothing besides living, passing by, because that's what I need to do for right now? Just imagine, like, what if... So for me, it's like, I don't like that. And I'll even give an example with YouTube. So my YouTube channel is doing very well. I love it. I love my subscribers. Great, right? Now, if somebody comes at me at a certain point in my YouTube career and you're trying to date me, meanwhile, I know you're the type of person that wouldn't have dated me when I first started YouTube, I'm not talking to you. That's why I really do feel it's going to get harder. Like, the more successful I become, I don't think it's going to get easier. I'm going to have to weed out more awful people, because this is where the superficial people come in. That's where they come in like flies. They just stick to you. Flies and honey, they will stick to you. I don't like that. I don't want superficial, which is something that most people want because they just want to show people things. I don't care. I love character. But that's another thing that I don't really agree with. A man that is chasing you or a woman that is chasing you for an occupation, they need to go take a seat and do their own thing. Ain't nothing wrong with liking somebody for having, an occupation you think is interesting or this or that. Ain't nothing wrong. That's cool. But if you make your personality their occupational identity, because that's what really it is, like occupation ends up being our identity when it comes to interacting with other people. That's why I try not to say it too much. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign, because what if one day your leg is gone, you're disabled, somebody in the family passes away, you got to take a break. Just imagine, like, if somebody wants to be with you when you so high up, what happens when out of nowhere you're just low? It happens. Are they going to be there for you? Most likely not. And that's when couples start to get to fussing and fighting. Like, it's the truth. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. Don't make somebody's occupation, whoever they are, it doesn't matter, your personality, because it always ends terribly in the long run. Bye, y'all.